I'm with Constellation Web Solutions. We're the company that hosts and maintains the entire website for Coldwell Banker United Realtors and who has worked with Coldwell Banker United Realtors on our new website, the site you're looking at right now. Our presentation today is to talk about the new website and how it benefits home buyers who are online searching for real estate, how it will benefit sellers who need a real estate company and a real estate professional like you to help them list and sell their home, and how it will help each of you in terms of your personal online marketing, lead generation, and even search engine optimization, or the ability for consumers to find you via the search engines, Google and Yahoo and the other search engines. We're going to be going through various aspects of the site today. As I've mentioned a couple of times, I do have to kind of monitor incoming agents as they join the meeting, just to mute their phones so that the ambient noises in their area doesn't interrupt the meeting for others. So please bear with me if it gets a little distracting for me and I kind of stumble from time to time. I'll try not to do that as best I can. And I'm also recording the meeting today so that you'll be able to watch the presentation at a later date. And if you've missed something or want to remind yourself of some special feature or function, you'll have the opportunity to do so. So let's begin. The new Coldwell Banker United Realtors website was designed with several things in mind. And primarily, what we wanted to try to do was really simplify the website to make it as easy as pie for consumers to search for homes from the moment that they come to the website. As you may recall, on the current website, the one you're using today, there's actually several different websites. There's one for the Texas and Florida regions, there's one for the Carolina regions, and that's kind of counterproductive when it comes to search engine optimization and our ability to really provide a unified experience for home buyers searching for real estate. So our first goal was to create a single website that combines all areas into the one website and still allows the consumer to search for homes in any city, in any community, in any area associated with Coldwell Banker United Realtors. So from the moment they land on the home page, there's several different ways they can begin their search. If you notice, service area by map, this link below the map, below the search element on the home page, is a feature that allows the consumer to click on a region that's managed by Coldwell Banker United Realtors. If I click on the Houston area, it will take me to the Houston portion of the website, as I am right now, and allow me to conduct a property search for Houston, for the Houston area. The same is true for the Carolinas, for Florida, for the Gulf states, and for other areas in Texas, like Austin and such. In addition to being able to search for homes in that fashion, let me minimize this window, I can also use this search field here and begin to type in the area that I want to search by. And this is one of the major improvements that we've made to this website. In this site today, the consumer can search for real estate based on a number of different criteria. They can search by street address, they can search by city or zip code, they can search by MLS ID. And let me kind of demonstrate that. If I start typing a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, for example, I will begin to see all the street addresses, MLS IDs, and zip codes that have 1, 2, 3, 4 in the number. And should I choose one, I'd be able to then find the listing that's associated with that number. In this case, 1234 Bayline Drive is going to take me to a property search page that's going to show me that one property. Now, there are occasions that we get this map view that will occur, and that's for reasons that are the result of the development environment that the website is being hosted in. When we conduct a property search like the Woodlands, and I'll start that search over again, when you type in an area like the Woodlands, Texas, and then conduct your search, it will go immediately to that same map, show us a map result view of listings in Woodlands, Texas, and concurrently it will show a list result view of properties in Woodlands, Texas. Now here you'll see that it says there's 417 properties in Woodlands, Texas. Many of those are mapped There are some listings that cannot be plotted on a map for reasons that the listing is not geocoded for a variety of reasons. And clicking this checkbox will allow the consumer to incorporate all listings. A total of 471 listings found. 417 of them are currently viewed on the map. What's really kind of neat is while I'm viewing this map and list result view, I can scroll through additional pages of listings without having to refresh the page. As you notice, as I click the pagination view above the map, it changes the results list that I see below it, making it very simple for me to locate and find the single property that I might be interested in viewing. When I click a property to go to the property detail page, in this case, it's a Coldwell Banker listing. There's a video available on the property, and so that's the very first thing that I see. I can click this link and begin to watch the video while I'm on the property detail page. These videos are being uploaded to the website via a data feed that we receive from CirclePix, so there's really nothing you need to do to make this happen. It all happens automatically. By the same token, if I want to look at the photos, I can simply click on the first photo, click play, and then the photos will begin a slideshow presentation of all the photos that are available for that property, and it'll slowly scroll through all of the photos. Now, you may be able to tell that the quality of the images that we're showing here on the property detail page are really quite good. We're pulling much larger images from the MLSs than we did on the previous website, and we're able to show much larger images for the consumers as a result of that. To the point that if I choose, I can click larger images and I get a full screen view of that photo, which really shows a very high resolution photo for that property. And here I can either scroll through the additional listings or photos rather for that property, getting a really good idea of what it has to offer. Or I can return to the property detail page by clicking Exit Large Photos, and it brings me back to this view. What we're trying to do is provide as much information with as high a quality of photos and data as possible in a very fast environment. We don't want the consumer to have to wait too long for the search to take place. We want the consumer to be able to find exactly what they want in a very short period of time. You may have also noticed this view, while I'm viewing these listings in Woodlands, Texas, I can narrow my search by changing criteria. In fact, I'm going to narrow my price range to $400,000 to $500,000. And in addition to that, I can use other search fields. A filter by keyword search allows me to use search criteria that appears in the remarks field of the data that we're pulling from the MLS. For example, if I want to find a listing that has a pool, and if pool is typed into the criteria in the remarks field at the MLS, it will appear in this list. And if I then click search, all the listings in Woodlands, Texas, priced from $400,000 to $500,000 that have pools mentioned in their remarks are going to show up. And here you can see I've taken my results list of 400-some listings down to a total of 30 properties. It allows the consumer to personalize their search for their own purposes. In addition, I'm going to remove the keyword search, and I'm going to search and show you how it's easy to search in other areas. If I then decide that I want to search Austin, Texas, without having to change anything else in the website, I simply type in the area I want to search. My price range is already set, $400,000 to $500,000. And here you'll see the results list of properties available in Austin, Texas, priced in the price range that I've selected. Once again, I can sort through these listings on the list view that you see to the left. I can zoom in on the map and view the results in that fashion. If I find a listing I like, I can click it and it brings me up some detail. If I click to view details, it will take me to the property detail page, and then I'll be able to get even more information. One other thing you'll notice that on every property detail page, we've integrated the request form right into the page itself. This makes it easier for consumers to generate a lead, which ultimately is the holy grail. It's what we'd like to occur every time somebody visits the site. So the easier we can make that happen, the more likely it is to happen in the first place. So we don't make you click a button to open a new window so that you can request information, but while you're on the detail page, you can simply start filling in the form, enter your phone number, enter in whatever question you have, click submit, and you've got a lead generated that's going to be going to either the listing agent in question, or it will go to the company for distribution through Lead Router. But the whole idea is to make it simple and easy for the consumer to do what it is that they want to do, while at the same time making it very easy for them to get the information they need on the site itself. While I'm viewing properties, whether I'm on a property detail page or I'm on a search results page, I can also compare listings that I find and then view those listings in a side-by-side view. I've selected 4 listings in Austin that I'd like to, or actually in Woodlands rather, that I'd like to get to know a little better. So I've selected them I've actually got 7 listings that I've compared side by side. There's 3 that I selected earlier and 4 that I just selected now. From here, I can save a listing. I can view that specific location on a map. I can change what information is being compared, maybe choosing year built and acreage, and then view that information accordingly. In addition, if I choose to, I can enter I can click driving directions, enter a starting address. In this case, I'll just use Houston, Texas. And then I'll be able to get turn-by-turn directions to all of the listings I selected. There's 3 that I selected in the Woodlands earlier. That was in an earlier visit, so that data is still stored in my activity. And then I've got 4 new listings that I just selected for compare that are now being compared and that I can get driving directions for. Now, normally, consumers aren't going to do what I did and do a property search in both Austin and Houston and then try to get driving directions. Typically, they'll do it in a single area and they'll get driving directions to each of the homes that they're interested in. But during the various presentations today, I've viewed a lot of listings and selected a lot for this tool, but that's essentially how it works. From there, I can print that out as a printable brochure and take it with me when I go to view the homes that Sunday. Maybe I just did an open house search, for example, and I can then take that with me and view the listings when I go out on my tour on Sunday. Another option that's new and that's designed to simplify the search for the consumer is if someone's on a really wide screen and they'd like to extend the view of the map so that it fills in the entire screen that they're using, they can click View Larger Map link, and you'll notice that it fills out the whole screen on the consumer's computer. Now, you'll get an even better idea of this when you personally go to the website on a laptop or on a desktop and try searching the website and try using the View Larger or View Smaller map option. But it really does optimize the view for the consumer, which ultimately is the whole idea, to simplify use of the website for the consumer, to encourage them to come back to the website frequently and to visit the website often. The more often they come back, the longer they stay, the more likely they are to request information. So the property search, regardless of where the consumer is, really is designed to allow them to search by any means necessary. As I had shown earlier, typing or entering a street address or a city or zip code or MLS ID. And furthermore, without leaving this page, they can choose additional advanced criteria simply by extending the advanced search windows option. That accordion opens when they do that, and it allows the consumer to then select additional data that they then can search for homes by. If they wanted to search waterfront listings, for example, or if they wanted to see homes that are 2 or 3 stories, or they wanted to search by acreage or by year built or by school district or subdivision, all of that's possible. Subdivision data uses a feature we call Type Ahead that allows the user to begin typing the letters, and then they see matching names according to what they typed. Now here, it's very broad data, so wherever we get subdivision data, the user is going to be able to search for subdivisions in that fashion. One other thing you'll notice, that every area that's served by Coldwell Banker United Realtors has its own home page with its own property search. We're currently in the Austin area, but if I go down to the bottom of the map and click on Fort Walton Beach, for example, that's going to take me to the Florida section or to the Fort Walton Beach homepage, where I can then search for listings in the Fort Walton Beach area. The same is true if I click on Greater Charlotte. It'll take me to the Charlotte homepage and allow me to search for listings in Charlotte. And the idea here is that we want to optimize the website for search engine optimization for all of the areas that are served by Coldwell Banker United Realtors. So we have a home page for virtually every area the Coldwell Banker United is in. And when you're in an area like Charlotte, if you go to the communities page, you'll see additional community subpages that have been created for that community. The Charlotte area, I believe, is still working on their landing pages, so let me go to another area, and I know there are some down in Houston. Let me show you what Houston has done. I'm on the Houston page, and here you'll see all the landing pages that were created for areas that are serving the Houston market. These pages are particularly optimized for search engine optimization in that they've got several things that help elevate them higher in the search on Google and the other search engines that help reach that goal of being optimized better than other competing websites. Those things include the URL that you see, and here you'll notice it says Houston The Heights Real Estate. This is the Heights Real Estate landing page. The content in the page itself is about the Heights, and the listings you see down below are from the Heights. All those things combine to help optimize this page for the Heights or for any of the areas that are landing pages in the Houston market. And the same is true, and we can demonstrate this in Austin. When we go to the greater Austin area and we go to the subsequent community pages there, you'll see that each of these pages are unique to Austin and allows Coldwell Banker United to continue to work on optimizing this website so that you can improve the way that your site performs in competition with all the other real estate websites that are in the areas that you serve. It's one of the biggest goals we had when we developed this website was to improve SEO, search engine optimization. And it's through the landing pages and the regional home pages and the content pages that we were able to do that. And while this takes time, you don't turn into the #1 website on the search engines overnight. It will happen in time that all these pages will be indexed and your website will perform better accordingly. In addition to searching for homes, you obviously can search for agents. And when a consumer comes to this page, they can either search for agents by the city that the agent is in, by a specific office the agent may be a member of, or they can search for agents by a team name, by language spoken, by specialty, or if they've chosen a city, by a radius around that city. And here in this case, I'm going to search for Courtney Bowie. I think I'm spelling this right. One comment about the teams, there currently aren't any teams in the website, and there's specific criteria that allows you to put a team's profile together on your portion of the website. In order to find out if you are a team member and if you'd like to have a team profile and a team listings page as part of your website, talk to your office staff. They'll be able to tell you what needs to be done. They'll get the information from you. They'll get you set up, and then you'll be able to administer your own team pages accordingly. Now I'm going to search for an agent. I typed in her name. When I conduct my search, we'll see that, yes, there is, in fact, one agent with that name. And when I click and go to the agent's page, it's going to show me your profile. Before I go to her profile, though, let me show you something else. And this is kind of interesting. I'm going to search for agents by the first initial of B, and this should bring up all the agents that have B in their first name, and there's 497 of them, actually, that have B in their name. Let's try this a little bit differently. Actually, let me just explain what I'm talking about here. The reason for the way that you see agents displayed when you do an agent search, it's not necessarily alphabetical. It's really more the result of weighting that we place on the agent's profile based on a number of criteria. The criteria is based on several different pieces of information. One, the last time and how often in the last 30 days you've edited your profile, or at least that you've gone in and edited your profile at least once in the last 30 days. That represents 50% of the weighting that we're going to place on who should show up first in an agent search. The next criteria is agent bio video. If you've added an agent bio video to your profile page, then that adds 35% to the weighting. Finally, the last piece is social media links, and that represents 15% of the weighting. All of those things combine to determine which agents should show up first in an agent search result. In this case, Dawn Lanier just happens to be the first one because she had enough weighting that's going to push her to the top, and you'll see that part of that has to do with the fact that she does have an agent bio video, and she must have gone in and edited her profile within the last 30 days. You can do the same thing. It's just a matter of adding your own videos, and we'll show you in a little while how to go about doing that. We'll also show you how you can go in and edit your own personal profile pages. In addition to having a profile page, you also have the ability to add additional pages to your profile, and there's no limit to the number of pages you can add. As you can see here, Courtney has her profile page. We're looking at it. There's some basic information about Courtney. There's a widget that Courtney's added. This is something that was available through HAR, the Houston Area Association of Realtors, and this HTML widget, when added to her profile, gives a little bit about her competency, market knowledge, communication, and experience. There's a QR code associated on her profile, and if someone were to read this QR code with their cell phone, smartphone, iPhone, or Android, it's going to launch Courtney's personal mobile website. And then she's also got a new page that she's added called First Time Home Buyers. And here she's got content about first-time home buyers. She's got a couple of images that help give the page some interesting elements. All of this is totally within your control, and you can do as many of these types of pages as you want. So if you'd like a first-time home buyers page, if you'd like a testimonials page, if you'd like to add a community page, if you'd like to add a page about your videos or any number of different things, how to stage for an open house, how your approach to real estate and how you can sell homes faster than most other agents, or whatever you feel is going to help you in your marketing to home buyers and home sellers, you can create a page for, you can write and add personal content to, you can incorporate videos, you can do all of that through the website admin. We'll log into the admin shortly, show you how to do that, but it is really quite easy. It just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, and once done, you can have a really professional-looking personal website. In addition to having the ability to add these additional pages, you each get your own personal website. Now, you've had that in the past, but there's some significant differences in the new website compared to what you used to have. First of all, every agent has the option of choosing which should be the first page you see when you go to your URL. Your URL is, as it always has been, cbunited.com/your name. Now, when this website goes live, that'll be the URL that will bring people to your website in the new site. For your domain into the new site, while we're working on it, while it's in the production environment, talk to your office staff and they'll tell you what URL you can use to both view your profile and to go in and make editing. For the time being, though, when the site is launched, if someone goes to cbunited.com/your name, it'll bring them to your site, and you can choose to either have them land on this page or they can land on the home page of the area that you're in. Courtney's in the Houston market, so you'll see that Courtney's homepage would be the Greater Houston homepage, and here her photo and contact information is made very central to the centralized focus on the page. There's a search element which allows consumers to begin their search for homes right from this page. There's a featured home, which is Courtney's listing, that appears in the page itself. Because Courtney has a video on this listing, that video is seen as the featured home right in this page. And if I click it, you can see that it will begin to play the video while we're viewing the page. Doesn't open a new window, doesn't take the user off site. It allows the consumer to see the video right from this page. Or, as I had mentioned, they could do a property search from this page and do a property search to find properties, and when they go to a property search page, your contact information stays with them. As they navigate through the site, you'll stay with them on every page, and any lead generated from this visit will automatically stay with you. Any request for information will stay with you. All competing agent information is suppressed with the exception of the times that the videos appear on the listings. And the reason for that is the agent name is part of that video page. But once the video is passed, and in this case the photos are being displayed, you obviously won't see another agent's name. If someone were to request information from this listing, that lead would go to Courtney because we're in Courtney's website. If someone were to print out a printable brochure from this page or from the property compare page like we had done earlier, Courtney's photo and contact information would be included in that. So we really give you the ability to showcase yourself, showcase your listings, and give you the advantage of taking advantage of this incredible property search that's built into the Coldwell Banker website. I want to go back into that property search area again just to demonstrate some other really kind of neat things that we've done. When you go into the search and you begin to zoom in and conduct your search, you can either do a traditional search as we were doing earlier, where you select beds, baths, and price, and you type in the city name that you want to search by, or you can type in the price range, the single-family home, and any additional criteria you want, and then click to draw your search. You can actually drill down on the map and draw a neighborhood search based on the map that you're viewing at the time. So in this case, I'm just going to draw this search area. There may or may not be listings in that area. We'll soon find out. There's 4 properties that meet the criteria in the neighborhood that I've drawn. So the value here is that consumers can really search any way that's easiest for them. If a consumer wants to drill down to the neighborhood search, they can draw the search. If a consumer would rather type in the city they want to search by, they can do it that way. If they want to do a traditional property search and maybe use the map and just click and zoom, they can do that as well. We make it as simple and as easy based on what the consumer needs to do, with the goal that we want to encourage the consumer to stay on your website for longer periods, and we want to get them to come back to the website with frequency. Another feature that's had a lot of improvements is the My Home Search feature. It's formally called Personal Retriever. And now in the new website, consumers can either log in with Facebook using Facebook criteria or their Facebook login to create an account or to log into an existing account, or consumers can log in, type in their email address, and create an account in that way. I was in the website earlier, and I created an account a bit earlier, and so I'm going to log into my existing account. I was in Courtney's website when I logged in the first time, and because of that, Courtney is now my agent. I'm registered with Courtney. Courtney can log into the back end of the website, and she can view all my account activity. Here you'll see I have selected Courtney to work with. I've set up several saved searches, or at least one, and now I'm getting email alerts from Courtney
that will include listings that match the search criteria of my saved search. And because I selected Courtney as my agent, the email alerts I get come from Courtney. I can also view saved listings in this area. This is where listings I've viewed and ultimately saved will be stored. And what's really nice is that Courtney can log into the back end of the website. She can view all the activity that I've had in my site. She also can see what listings I've looked at. She can see up to the last 20 homes that I viewed a property detail page for. And then using the administrative application, Courtney can suggest additional listings for me to consider. Now, it might work like this. I'm registered with Courtney. I'm searching in the Woodlands area. I've saved a couple of listings in that area, and I've got a search for listings priced $400,000 to $500,000 in the Woodlands. So Courtney can log in and see all that. But she also knows that there's a listing priced at $450,000 that's really undervalued. It really should be selling for more, but it's just marked down and it's priced to sell. Well, because it's priced below my saved search criteria, I'll never get that email and I'll never get that listing in an email alert. I won't even get a listing priced at over my price range because my saved search is only going to limit email alerts to listings that fall within that price range. So Courtney can use this application to suggest listings that are inside or outside of the price ranges that I've saved and suggest additional properties for me to consider. When she does that, I'll get an email from her with the listings and a personalized greeting that she includes. And then, when I click on the link in that email, it'll bring me into my section of the website labeled Agent Suggestions, and that'll show me all the listings that this agent suggested for me. The whole idea is that it gives Courtney the ability to interact with anyone who has selected her as an agent. And at the end of the day, the more interaction you can do with a consumer online, building that relationship, the more likely that consumer is to ultimately request information from you. We want to generate a lead. We want to get that lead into your hands. If we can use these tools to help build that relationship, that's more likely to happen. Another neat feature that you and Courtney can use, you may or may not know about this, but it's been available in the current website, is this feature here. I clicked on the mobile phone to get there. Now keep in mind, I'm in Courtney's website, so if I put my phone number in this field, my cell phone number, and click Send, the website's going to send a text message to me. The text message that I get is going to come from Courtney and it's going to include a link that will take me to Courtney's personal mobile website. The idea behind this is if I'm searching for homes on the computer, and if Courtney has my mobile phone number, likely that I might also use my mobile phone to search. Well, Courtney's going to want to make sure that I use her mobile website so that if I generate a lead, she gets the lead. Using this application in this way, she's able to facilitate getting me into her mobile website, where I might ultimately find the listing I'm looking for and generate a lead, which ultimately would help her sell a listing or maybe even list the home that I have for sale. The point being, you never know what's going to generate, what's going to get the consumer to use your services. The more you can be in front of them, the more chances you have at getting their business. Using the Agent Suggestions feature to reach out and to suggest additional properties for the consumer is one way to do that. And then using the mobile feature to send the user the link to bring them to your mobile website is another way that you can really help generate potential business for yourself. And all of it takes advantage of this wonderful technology that is built into the new Coldwell Banker United Realtors website. The goal of this website is to make it easy for consumers to find you, to find listings, to find the homes for sale, and ultimately to generate the lead that we want them to generate, which is going to put business in your pocket and give you a better opportunity at closing that sale. In the back end of the website, there's a number of brand new features we've added that you'll be able to access for a variety of reasons. The link to get there is located at the bottom of the site. It says Agent Dashboard, And when you click that link, it'll bring you to a screen that looks like this. Now, a couple of points. The administration of the website is optimized for using a Firefox browser. The reason for that, other browsers work, i.e. Internet Explorer works, but there's some inconsistencies because of the inconsistency of that browser. There's so many different versions of it, IE 10, IE 8, IE 9, IE 7, and because of that, we found that Firefox is absolutely the most reliable and the easiest to use. So we highly encourage you to use the Firefox browser when you go into Website Admin. If you don't have it, there's a link in this page that allows you to get it. You simply click that link. It'll take you to the download page. You can download it, and once you've got it up and running, you can then come back to this page and access your admin. Then, for your username, you enter your Crest ID. Your password is the word password, but in place of the O, type a 0. And once you've logged in, then you'll be able to change your password to something that will be yours and unique and a little more secure than this universal password that we start with. So the word password, and just replace the letter O with a 0. Then click log on, and it'll bring you to the home page of the administration area. Couple of points. The admin dashboard has a series of links that Coldwell Banker United Realtors wanted to make available to you. These make it easy for you to access Paragon and North Carolina Association of Realtors, Austin Relocation Referral, etc. There's 20, 30, 40 links here that'll help you in your daily business. At the bottom of the page, there's other links that will take you to the Technology Purchase Program at Dell, to Realtor.com, to the Texas Benefit Information page, etc., etc. And we encourage you to use those links. They're there to facilitate your daily work and ultimately make it easier for you so you don't have to remember what the URLs are. In the center of the page, you'll see basic inventory statistics about you and your properties. If in this particular instance, Courtney has 4 active listings. There's 1 listing with no virtual tours. And if Courtney had a new virtual tour that she knew she wanted to add to that 1 listing, she could click that link, and it would take her right to property maintenance editing to the 1 listing that doesn't have a virtual tour. And by clicking this icon, she'd then be able to click virtual tours and add a virtual tour to this listing. You'll notice if I click the virtual tour link, it asks me to add a new tour, and then all I have to do is type in the URL for the tour, and it instantly will be posted to the website to that particular listing detail page. If you have virtual tours that you've put into the MLS, chances are those are unbranded virtual tours, and they don't include your photo and the Coldwell Banker United logo, so chances are, if you're using those types of videos, you'll want to make sure that you come to the back end of the website and add the real one. If you're using the CirclePix video tours, those are automatically fed to the website, and you don't have to do anything about that. We'll handle that for you. There's a data feed between us and CirclePix that will automatically make sure that your CirclePix virtual tours are inserted and placed properly. Back to the back end of the website, so besides this property statistics stuff, there's also several links at the top of the page that allow you to access the different areas of your admin. Profile maintenance can be accessed here. You'll notice change your password option. When you click it, your current password is already there. All you have to do is type in the new password, type it in again, and whatever you type in, once you click change, that will become your password. Don't lose it. Use a number or a series of letters and numbers that you'll remember. Write it down somewhere where you won't forget it. If you do happen to lose it, we do have ways of retrieving it. It's just a pain, so it's usually better not to forget it. Use something that you use in other situations so that it's a common password that you'll remember. When you click Agent Maintenance, this takes you to your agent profile maintenance and allows you to begin doing some modifications or editing to your personal profile page. Couple of things. Do you remember we talked about adding an agent video to your profile page? Now, there's one type of video that you can add, and this is the kind that would go on the On Location channel at Coldwell Banker Online. It's also essentially a YouTube video. And the way that you add the video is really quite easy. The first step is to go to Coldwell Banker On Location, search for and find your personal video. Usually you can search by your name and you'll be able to find your video that way. If you already know the embed code for your video, then you don't necessarily need to search here, but chances are you don't have that written down somewhere. You may need to come here to search for it. So the first step is locate the video that you want to use as your personal profile bio video. Open up the video like I just did, and then click on the share link below the video, then click the embed link. A couple of important points. The size of the video should never be larger than 560 pixels. In fact, that size is the perfect size. It fits the full screen on the page. So you really want to make sure that 560 is the choice that you see in video size. Then, down below the size, you'll notice there's a show suggested videos when the video finishes. Make sure you uncheck that. If you don't, you're not going to like what happens. What normally happens when this is checked is when that video plays and it's finished, YouTube searches for other videos that are similar to the one that just played. And in this case, this is a video about an agent, about a real estate agent. So YouTube is going to search out other real estate agent videos, and it's going to show those as the suggested videos after the video plays. Bottom line, if you leave that checked, you're going to be promoting other agents on your website. You don't want to do that. So make sure you uncheck Show Suggested Videos. And then the only other thing you need to do is copy this URL. In this case, I'm highlighting it with my mouse. I right-click and I click Copy. Then I go back into the admin area. I go to this field that says Agent Bio Video. Remember here, it's going to remind you 560 pixels wide. That's the size. Right-click, click Paste, and your video is embedded once you save this. Once you click Save at the bottom of the page. Now, I'm not going to do that in this case because this isn't really her video, but that's how easy it is to do. You just need to make sure it's 560 pixels wide, and you uncheck that box for suggesting additional videos. The next thing you can do is you can begin editing your profile if you'd like to, simply by clicking into this area and editing the content that you see. If you're happy with the content that we pulled from the current website and posted in the new site, then there's some other ways that you can add content that will be added to your website, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But if you did want to edit this, you'd simply edit, type, delete the information that you don't want, type in the new information that you do. If you want to add a photo, we'll show you in a moment how to go about doing that. If you'd like to add images of any kind, that's also very easy to do. We'll show you how to do that in a second. Once you've finished making your editing, add in your Facebook, Twitter, and or LinkedIn links. These are the links that go to your profile page at any of those sites. When you've added them and saved this, then those icons for those websites are going to appear on your profile page and on your personal website. So it's a great way to tie in your social networking and also to include those on your site. And remember, each of those things are also part of how you rank higher in an agent search result. Agent video, last time agent content, and the fact that you actually added new content or edited existing content, and adding social networking links to your profile. Make sure all those things occur, and you're going to show up higher in the list than an agent who doesn't do those things. Further down, you'll see that there are some agent bullets here at the bottom. These are for the Coldwell Banker Online agent profile that you get at the Coldwell Banker National website. If you want bullets to be incorporated into your profile there, this is where you would add them. And then your QR code, which we talked about on Courtney's website, she's opted to use the mobile site link. If someone reads this code with their smartphone, it's going to launch her personal mobile website. But the other option is to choose vCard link, and what this does is creates a contact record in your phone book or in the user's phone book when they read that on their smartphone. So choose whichever one you like, and when you have made a selection, the QR code will automatically be added to your website. I believe the default setting is off. So right now, you don't have a QR code showing up on your site unless you personally have come in here and changed it. Finally, you're going to want to make sure you add any additional languages you speak. If you speak Spanish or Hungarian, Russian, or Chinese, it's often consumers want to work with people who understand their language and culture, and as such, it's very important that you market that to reach out to those individuals if you do have the fortune of being able to speak multiple languages. If you speak more than one, hit the control button and select any or all of the ones that you do speak. Specialties is pretty much the same thing. It just gives consumers the option of being able to search for you based on the specialty that you want listed on your profile and that you'd like to be searched by. I've seen most agents choosing most of these options as they're pretty relevant for most people, and it is something that you'll want to go through. So go through this list, choose the ones that you want to use, and those will become one of the ways that consumers can search for you when they come to your site. Once you've made all your changes, double-check your phone numbers, make sure they're accurate. If you have a title or a designation, make sure you've typed it in here. And when you're ready, scroll down to the bottom of the page, click Save Changes, and all the changes and edits that you made are going to be populated and posted to your profile page. If you want to view what your profile looks like after you've made those changes, all you have to do is click this link. It'll open up a new browser and it'll show you your personal profile page. Here's her QR code and here's the other content that she edited. So it's really quite easy. It's just a matter of getting in there and doing it. Then there's a way that you can add additional pages to your website. A couple of different ways that you can access it. You can either click Add Edit Custom Pages here, or at the top of the page, you can click Agent Content Pages there. I like to use this version, Add Edit Custom Pages here, because this is what's called inline editing. And what inline editing is giving you the ability to edit the content in that page while you see the page the way it looks online. And let me show you how that works. We're going to go into this first-time home buyers page, and then we'll click View Page. You'll see that when we get there, here's the page that I showed you earlier from Courtney's website. But at the top, you see the ability to edit this content block. Well, simply by clicking Edit Content Block, it opens up the editor in the page and allows me to begin editing while I'm viewing this page. And now you can either remove these images. In fact, I'm going to just wipe everything out and start over just to show you how easy it is to edit or add content. If you're editing an existing page and you're going to do what I'm about to do, then you want to first make sure you're starting with a clean slate. So click this link here where it looks like the greater and less than symbol. That's editing HTML, and you're doing this merely to get rid of this extraneous code that you see here. Just delete this. Highlight it, click Delete, click Update, and that's going to ensure that everything in this page is clean and empty, and it's now ready for the content that you want to put there. Then, there's several different ways that you can type content in this page. You could simply begin typing right here. And as you type it, you could change the size of the font and adjust the size of the headlines and the different things that you're going to be putting in this page. I personally like to work in a Word doc, in a document format first, so I can do a spell check and then copy and paste that into the editing area. If you do that, though, the only way to do it right is to make sure you're using plain text. In other words, do not use Microsoft Word, because that puts all kinds of formatting, and it's hidden formatting that you can't see, into the page, and it could make it look goofy in different browsers. So your best bet is to use WordPad or Notepad. You can go to accessories in your programs list and locate WordPad or Notepad quite easily. It's usually in administrative tools, and then down here you're going to find a link to the WordPad or Notepad based on whichever one your computer offers. When you open WordPad or Notepad, it's essentially like an editor page, but it doesn't have any fancy fonts. It doesn't have any ability to put formatting in the page itself. And this allows you to make sure that the content you're copying over to the new page is pure and clean and doesn't have any extraneous code behind it that's going to cause issues. So now just simply copy the information you want to post on the page. In this case, I click copy. Now I go back into my editing page. I click my mouse into the page, I right-click, and I click paste. And here we have the basic text that's going to appear in the page. Now you notice at the top it says inherited font. This is where you can either change the font or just leave it alone. If you leave it alone, I think that's your best bet. That makes sure that your font is going to be consistent with all the other fonts used throughout the website, which is really what consumers look for, a consistent, easy-to-read experience. So I would leave the size and the inherited font exactly the way they are. But there is some things you can do to format this to make it look better. The first thing you want to do is use this formatting tool to change these questions into like a bold headline on the page. And there's a real easy way to do that, but there's a couple of steps you need to do to make sure that you don't affect the rest of the text on the page. The first thing to do is click your mouse at the end of the sentence that you want to format and click enter twice. Then highlight that same sentence that you just had your mouse by, and click this link over on the far right where it says paragraph and choose heading 3. And when you do that, see what happens? It turns it into this beautiful, nice little headline that's formatted like other headlines that are built into the website. Then go to the next line that you want to do the same thing for. Make sure to click enter to put a line break between this sentence and the paragraph below it. In fact, do it one more time just to be sure. Hit enter. Then highlight the sentence. Then go to paragraph again. Choose heading 3. And voila. See, I did something wrong. So now I have to fix that. So highlight this paragraph and go back up to the top and choose paragraph, and it'll return it. So what I have to do is I have to put a line break between this paragraph and the sentence below it so that the formatting I put on the sentence doesn't affect the paragraph above it. It's a little complicated. It's working in HTML. It requires just a little bit of practice, but you can see that even to someone like me who's done this a number of times, that things can occur that suddenly make it look wrong, and now you think, oh, it's broken. Well, it's really not broken. It's just user error, so that means you have to adjust and start over. And as you see, after I clicked enter once and then made another space and then did it again, I was able to get that paragraph formatted properly so that I can finish this out and do it one more time at this last point. So click to the end of the last paragraph here, one time or twice. Click at the end of the sentence twice. Highlight this sentence and then go up to this area here and choose heading 3 again, and then scroll down, and that time I did it properly, and you can see that the sentence changed but the paragraph below it didn't. It's a way that you can use pre-formatted editing tools that will make these headlines look really nice and look like they were done by a graphic designer when really all you did was poke around and highlight and then use these formatting options when you're creating them. You notice that heading 2 is much larger, heading 3 is medium-sized, heading 4 is black and smaller. Choose the one that's most appropriate and that you think is going to look the best. Ultimately, when you finish this work, you can save it and it'll be published in your site. But before we finish this page, I want to show you how to add a photo to the page. And that also is really quite easy. The first thing you do is you click the mouse in the area where you want to add the photo, or above the last sentence where you want the photo to be. In other words, I want this one at the top of the page, so I'm going to click my mouse at the very top left of the page. Then click the photo icon, Insert Image, that's in the toolbar. And that'll open up a screen that shows all the images that you've currently uploaded to the website. You can either use these existing images or you can upload new images. And I'm going to get rid of these so I can show you how to upload these. Notice if you added an image and you don't want it on your profile anymore, you can delete it simply by clicking it and then clicking this little X. Say OK. So now we're going to upload an image. I simply click Upload. It'll open up a folder on my computer so I can search and find the image I want. Click the image, click Open, and it's inserted. I'm going to do the other one. Click the image, click Open, and it's inserted. Now a couple of points. Do you remember the video was 560 pixels wide? That means any photo that we add into this page can't be any larger than 560 pixels wide too. If you make the photo wider than 560, it's not going to fit on the page, and the page is not going to look very good. So you'll want to make sure that the photo is very close to the size you want it to be on the page before you begin. And to do that, you just need a basic photo editing program on your computer. Windows Office has one built in. I think it's Picture Manager. And in that, you can resize your image and just do 400 pixels wide or 350 pixels wide. And that should be large enough to get a nice sized image without it being overbearing on the page itself. Once you've got your images uploaded, you know that they're not too big because you resized them before you uploaded them. Click the image you want to insert, double click, and it's inserted. But we're not quite finished yet. Look at this, it's going to appear a little too wide. Remember, we're inline editing here, so we can see how the page is going to look from the get-go. I've got a couple of options at this point. Maybe I want that image to appear in the center. If that's the case, I click Center Image, and it puts the image right in the middle of the page. If I want the image to be on the far right, and I want the words to wrap around the image, there's a way to do that too, but you'll want to make this image a little bit smaller first. So first click the image, and then see that little square in the corner? You can drag that in, and the photo will resize to whatever you drag it into. And I did too far. Let me hit Cancel. Let me try inserting the image again. Click it, double click the image, click the image itself, drag a corner in, resize it. Now click Image Right, float image right. And do you see what happens? It automatically floats the image to the right and the text floats over to the left, wrapping around the image itself. We can do that again with the other image by putting the mouse in the general area we want the image to be. Click the image insert item, click the image we want. That also is too large, so we're going to make it smaller. And then we're going to click right again. And as we scroll down, it's nicely placed in the page. A really nice, easy way to do it. Now maybe one more thing, maybe you want to add a video to the page. So you want to put the video at the bottom of the page this time. So you've gone to Coldwell Banker Online. You found a video you think is just perfect. That for this case, let's say this is a first-time homebuyer video. Copy this embed URL again, like we did earlier. Bring it back into your editing section. and click your mouse in the general area where you want the video to be placed, in this case at the bottom of the page. And then you have to click this little greater than, less than symbol that you see here in the toolbar. When you click that, it's going to allow you to insert HTML. Now watch what happens. We click this, and you'll see that it has all the text we saw earlier with some other gobbledygook type text that's HTML coding. The first thing you do is just click enter, so you've got a clean single line for you to insert this HTML text into. Now right click and paste, and then click update, and when you scroll down, you'll see the video is placed perfectly in the page. Now you could have done that with the video at the top of the page too, using that same process. You would simply have done something like this. You would have clicked that HTML symbol. You would have moved this space up to the very top, put your mouse at the very beginning, created a space so you can insert the HTML code, right-click and paste, and when you close this by clicking update, that video will be placed in that particular location. Now obviously you don't want the same video in twice. I did this merely to edit and to show you. One other thing, I believe if I click Control-Z, that'll erase the last thing that I did on my keyboard. Let me just verify that. If I click Control-Z, there, it does. So if you ever find yourself doing something and you think the last thing you did was wrong, click Control-Z and it'll automatically erase whatever it was you just did, and which I did in this case. And ultimately now I want to save this work, so I click Save Content Block, and that information is now saved, and you've got a page with beautiful content and a video embedded in the page. Now you can add as many pages as you choose to add in your admin. And I'm going to go back into the content editing area to show you how easy it is to add a page, and to show you a little bit about what you need to do when you do add a new page. So when you click Content and then Agent Content Pages, this will bring you to a page that shows you all the pages you've currently got in your personal site. The Woodlands is a page we added in our last session that we left inactive. So while I can edit this page, it cannot be seen on the live website at this time. Until I click the active button, that page will not be visible to anyone visiting my website. So I'm going to leave that alone, and I'm going to add a new page. So I click Add New Page. And the first thing you do when you click Add New Page is you give it a page title. We're going to call this one Seller's Tips. And then you need to add a URL. Now the URL is really just the name of the page with a hyphen or an underscore in the area where the space is. So in this case, the page title is Seller's Tips. We're going to make the URL Sellers _ tips. Actually capitalize the tips so it looks better. Then you can choose to make it active or inactive. I'll leave it active for now. And then you want to add a meta title and a meta keyword, meta description to this page. And here's where it's really going to help you from a search engine standpoint. The meta page title and the meta page description are going to help these pages get indexed by Google and the other search engines. Because they're attached to your profile page, when they get indexed, you're indexing yourself. So ultimately, this is going to make it easier for people to find you on the search engines. So when you make a page title or a page keyword or a meta description, you want to make sure that you use the title of the page itself along with keyword relevant information to make it easier for Google to find you and to post you. So in this case, it's about real estate tips for sellers. So we're going to call this Houston Real Estate Sellers Tips. And then the keywords they're less important because Google doesn't really look at keywords anymore, but you could type in keywords like Houston real estate, sellers tips in Houston, or Courtney Bowie's real estate tips. Any number of different keywords like that would be appropriate. But what's really important are the page title and the meta description. Those are the two things that Google looks at first, and those are the two things that you'll see on Google when this page is indexed. The link itself will say Houston Real Estate Sellers Tips. The meta description will appear directly below that, describing what that link goes to. So here you might say something like Courtney Bowie provides in-depth tips for Houston real estate. If I could spell, sellers. And that's really sufficient. The idea being you want to embellish Courtney Bowie, the term real estate, and Houston, and sellers tips to help optimize the page a little more effectively with the goal that Google is ultimately going to index this page and make it easier for Google to find you if somebody goes to Google searching for real estate in the Houston market. Click Save. And that's the first step of creating the page. The next step is to actually write content in the page. And like before, there's two places you can do that. You can edit page, and that goes to a basic editor that is not inline. It's a more traditional editing format. But it can be misleading because you're not viewing the content as it appears. You'd have to actually type in the content in this page, save it, then go to the website to view it in order to see what it looks like. And I think it's better to do it the other way. So I would always recommend that you click the page you want to edit, click View Page, and then that allows you to do inline editing. And now you click Edit Content Block, and now you could type and cut and paste the content that you wanted to post in this page that you had written in WordPad or in Notepad prior to coming here to create the page. In all honesty, it's really important that you be prepared when you first start writing this page anyway. So a little bit of advanced work will make adding the page that much easier. So if first you gather your facts, you gather your images, you write the information you want, you put all that in WordPad or Notepad, then you come to the back end of the website, create the shell of the page, and then insert your content, then you can manipulate it and make it look the way you want it with images and formatting like we showed you, and you'll have a really professional page in less than 5 minutes. You can add as many of these pages as you want. And what ends up happening, and let me just show you, up here at the top, you'll see that these tabs just start going across the page. When you get to the point that you're over here in the right margin, if you start adding additional pages at this point, you'll have a drop-down menu of all the pages you add. So if I were to add 7 more pages, I'd maybe get 1 or 2 more tabs here, and then the last tab would say more pages, and mousing over that would bring a drop down, and I'd be able to see what those additional pages are. So it accommodates giving you the ability to add virtually as many pages as you want, and then embellishing the page with videos, content, and really nicely formatted information that looks professional that really took nothing more than 5 minutes to create. I know some of you are thinking, I could never do that, and I challenge that. I know you can. I think that it just takes the time of getting in here and playing around. If you're afraid that you don't want the page to be seen until you're done with it, well, that's okay. You can come here and click Edit the Page and just make sure you uncheck the active link, and that way nobody can see it until you're ready for it to be seen. And then you can edit, make it right, and then when it's right, publish it by clicking Page Active, and then from the time that you click that, it'll be visible in the site. There's a manual we created that'll help you with this. It'll reiterate all the things we talked about, and I think watching this video again might also help you. All right, we're coming up on 1 hour and 10 minutes, and I've only got about 20 minutes left, so let me quickly run through a few more things here. there's some custom reporting that's available in the back end that is really kind of neat. The My Home Search reports we talked about earlier, these are the people that have registered in the website and created a saved search. They either did that in your personal website or they registered and then chose you as their agent in the company website. When someone has done that, either of those two things, when you come to My Home Search reports, you'll see a list of everybody who's chosen you as their agent. And when you click View Details, you literally will see all the details of their account. You'll be able to see when they registered, the last time they visited, you'll be able to see the last time they logged in, their saved search, you can see their saved listings. If they've got mobile listings, you can see those, and you can even see listings they viewed recently. Here are the last 4 properties I looked at. All of that gives you a better idea of what the buyer is doing. Then you can suggest listings. Now, to suggest a listing, it's really best if you know what listings you want to suggest. So the first step is to make sure you've reviewed everything about that buyer. You've looked at their saved searches, you know what listings they've saved, you know what they're looking for. Now suggest listings that maybe they wouldn't find out about without your help. Listings that are priced over their price range or just under their price range, because they'll never see those if they stay searching at the price range that they've indicated they're looking for. So write down the MLS numbers for the listings you want to suggest. Then enter those MLS numbers here. You can type in general search terms, like I'm doing here, and find some listings in this fashion, but it's rudimentary and it's not as effective as if you've actually written down MLS IDs. For the purpose of this presentation, though, this will at least allow me to demonstrate how it works. Once you've entered the MLS IDs, or click Suggest alongside up to 6 listings, I'm going to suggest 5, or in this case 3. I could suggest another. There's 4. You'll see the listings you're about to suggest are listed below. You can view details simply by clicking any of these links, and it'll take you to the detail page. Then, if you want to CC yourself on this email, just type your email address in here. Actually, you don't need to do that because this is actually going to be sent to you automatically. You could CC your seller, your buyer, the one that you're registering this for. Actually, let me scratch that. Start over. If you want to CC this to yourself, put your email address here. It automatically is going to be sent to your seller, or to your buyer rather, on your behalf. That happens automatically as soon as you click Suggest Properties. I was getting this one confused with another report we're going to talk about in a moment. So always put your email address here if you want to get a copy of it. Then write a quick greeting. Hey, Richard, I found these listings for you, or whatever it is you want to say. You can get several sentences in here quite easily. And then when you click Suggest Properties, an email is automatically sent to that buyer on your behalf. In fact, my email should go off in just a moment telling me I've got a new one. Here it is. And this is what it looks like. So it has your contact information at the top, and then the 4 listings that you're suggesting, along with whatever message it is you wrote for them. Nice, personal, clean, and simple, but a great way for you to get new listings into the hands of that buyer and begin the conversation. Build a relationship. And the sooner you get that relationship going with the buyer, the more likely you are to ultimately generate business for yourself from that buyer, a lead that might lead to selling them a home, maybe listing their own property. The next thing I want to show you real quickly is the property view reports. This is simply a very basic report for all the activity of your given listings. If you click the date range that you want to do reports for, the property view reports, you can really just click this calendar link, select the date range, click View Report, and it's going to generate a fairly basic report showing how many times listings have shown up in searches, how many times they were seen in featured homes, how many times somebody viewed the property detail page. It's not very pretty. It's just basic information, but it is good information that will help you demonstrate to your seller things that you're doing to help them market their home. Now, there really isn't much data here because this data is not currently live in the website. This is part of the website development. So this will be much better when the website goes live, but at least you see what it is. And you do have the option of emailing this report to a buyer from the report. The next thing you can do, though, and this is a much better report, some of you have already started using this in your current website. It's called the Seller's Report. And what the Seller's Report is the ability for you to create reports for your sellers to keep them up to date with a chart and graph about all the activity their listing has had, while also demonstrating what listings might be competing with their property. So to create a report, you first find the listings that are currently active. Actually, these are current reports. You want to add a new report. You click Add Report and choose your name from the drop-down. You'll be the only name you see there. You have to choose your office first and then your name. And then it'll bring up all your active listings. And then you type in the recipient's name. I've made some earlier reports. That's why it remembers mine. And type in the email for where you want to send it. And then you can choose the type of report you want to send. Listing activity, that's going to show charts and graphs for the activity of that listing. Competitive listing report, that's going to show other listings that may be competing with that seller's property. And then you can also choose to get a CC. And if you choose that option, when this is sent the first time, and each time, you'll get a copy of the report at the same time the seller gets it. Then you click Add Report, and the report is done. Now, but it takes you actually into the area where you need to define what references a competitive listing. How do we define a competitive listing? So we pull in the price and the single-family home, and we establish a range of roughly 20%, I believe it is. You can adjust this up or down if you want. You can add beds and baths if you choose to, minimum 3 beds, no maximum number, minimum 2 baths, maximum 2 baths, or no maximum number of baths. You can type in 2,500 square feet and then maximum 4,000 square feet, or no maximum if you just left it blank. And then you can either define the cities by choosing them here, or what's better, and this is really a much better way to do it, click Draw Area Map. And what that does is allows you to zoom into the map area and then identify by drawing on the map the area where you want to find competitive listings in. So the first step is click this little check mark icon. This is the draw icon. And then start clicking to define the area in question. And when you finish, the area in red represents the area that any listing that meets the criteria ranges that you got up above that is located in this area will be incorporated into the competitive listing report that is sent to that seller. So when the seller begins getting the reports, they'll be able to see that there's X number of new listings, X number of price change properties that are right in that immediate area around their listing that are priced similarly to theirs, and it might be just the report you need to be able to convince them to lower the price. Once you've got a report created, you want to schedule the report, and the way to do that is select the report you want from this drop-down list, choose a start date, and then choose a frequency. And you can go from every 7 days to every 30 days. I think every 30 days is usually sufficient, but if you want to do it more frequently, you can. When you click Add, starting on the date you chose, through the time the listing sells, this report will automatically be sent on your behalf to that seller, keeping them up to date about all the activity their listing has had, and then also showing them any of the competitive properties that may be coming into the market or that have had a price change that are in the area that you defined. I think this is one of the best features you could have for keeping your seller up to date about their property. You'll want to play around with this because it really can be a very useful tool for you. Finally, for our presentation today, I want to show you the eCard application. The eCard application gives you the ability to create special eCards for any of your personal active listings. Here, once again, you choose your name and your office from these drop-downs, and it'll pull up all your active inventory. If you have 50 listings or something, you can enter a specific MLS ID to locate that listing immediately. Once you have the list of properties, select the listing you want to do an eCard for by clicking that icon, and then if you scroll down, try it again, if you see here it says Add eCard, click that, and that will open up your eCard application where you can choose the template. There's two templates. One looks like this. The next one uses a slightly smaller photo and a different grouping of images. On this one, your photo is located at the top. At the bottom, you have the company information, the listing information, etc. On the other template, your photo is at the bottom of the template, and the copy information, as you see, is in the middle of the page. Whichever option you choose is fine. It's automatically scheduled to be sent to you, and if you want, you can CC it to one individual, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. And then you want to put a tagline. A tagline is going to appear like a headline. And you can also add in a personal description, and you can make this either something really large or something very small or something in just normal font size. You can create like a headline that's going to appear on the page. You can write custom remarks. You can copy or you can edit the remarks that were written by the MLS if you want to. Let me change that font here. I did this, I just copied that text, not because I really want to use it, but just to demonstrate when text is written there what it looks like on the profile. You want, or on the brochure. You want to personalize this. You want to write a personal greeting and a message. You really want to showcase all the wonderful things this home offers. You want to add remarks in each one of these fields because it really does fill out the page a lot better and allows the consumer to really see what you're offering them, what's so special about this home. Once you've added the content that you want to appear, you can choose up to 5 images. I think it's 5. You choose your main photo and then choose up to 3 or 4 interior shots. When you've got as many as you can fill, it'll fill up here. At this point, you can move photos up or down simply by using the up or down options. Notice the photos move up or down in the list accordingly. Then you can choose the MLS feature information that you feel is most appropriate for this particular listing. You get to choose up to 12 bits of information. And once again, choose what you think is most important to that seller or to that buyer. Once and I just chose things at random, so you'll actually want to give some thought to this. Once you've added this information, you can also add a community logo, even a builder logo. I'm just going to upload this one pretending it's a community logo. And when you finally click Preview eCard, it will load everything and it'll show you what your eCard is going to look like. So there's the eCard, here's your heading, here's all the information that you added, and ultimately when you click Save, that eCard is going to be published and you'll be able to, it will be automatically emailed to you. Now here's the key. These things, when you finish an e-card, it's automatically emailed to you as an HTML email. You can come back once you've created an e-card, and you can reuse that e-card again if you want. Here we've got one that we created earlier. And you can click email and it'll come to you again if the price has changed and you want to update it, or you want to change the remarks that you put in there. But once it comes to you, you need, if you're going to be sending it out to multiple email addresses, you want to be very careful about how you do that. This is not an automatic program that's going to send it out to 50 or 70 email addresses, and you don't ever want to use your personal email like that. The problem is you get labeled as a spammer when you do it, and it can have a real detrimental effect, not just on your email, but on everyone's email at Coldwell Banker United. That's not us that's doing that. It's the AT&Ts and the Verizons of the world. They're out looking at bulk email going out like that, and they assume immediately that it's spam that's going out. So you have to be very careful about sending large blocks of email at any given time. It's always best to use services like Constant Contact, Smarter Agent, or Top Producer, or any number of programs like that that have systems designed to do bulk email. And if you do have access to a program like that, you can use it for sending out large quantities of this property e-card. Otherwise, sending out 5 or 6 e-cards, or even as many as 10 e-cards in an afternoon is not a bad thing, and that won't cause problems. It only becomes a problem when you try to do it to many email addresses at the same time. I believe I have covered about everything that I had promised to cover in this presentation, and I've got to say that even though I didn't let you talk, you've been very patient and cooperative during this presentation, and I do appreciate it. The website is going to be live on the 26th of August. You've got a couple of weeks, or not even a couple of weeks, but maybe about 7 days between now and then to go into the back end of the website, update your personal profile pages, add your videos, make sure your pages are edited and looking really good before the site goes live. You can get a manual from members of your office staff. You can get login information from members of your office staff and tips to any questions that you have from your office staff. I'm going to open up the chat window just to see. I don't see any questions, but if you do have any questions and you want to use the chat window to send those questions to me now, I've got a couple of minutes that I can try to answer those questions for you. Keep in mind, we did record the presentation today. We will have another meeting later this week and more meetings next week. Unfortunately, I have to have a procedure at the doctor's office tomorrow that'll keep me out of it for tomorrow, but I will be back on Thursday, and I know we're going to be doing presentations on at least one presentation next Monday and another presentation a week from Thursday. And there is going to be a video available to you along with a manual that we created that will help reiterate all the things we showed you. Joe Oder sent a question about at the search site it lists all listings, and that is true. In fact, there's hundreds of thousands of listings. Your agent ID is your CREST ID. So that's, if someone asked me what agent ID number you get, and it's your CREST ID. If you don't know your CREST ID, check with your office staff. They should be able to tell you. The website will have all your market listings, so all your competitive listings will be in the website. And the only thing I believe we show in most areas is the broker name on that IDX listings. Some areas require that we show the listing agent, but we never have a link that goes to their website. Of course, we don't provide their email or anything like that. We merely do whatever information is required from the MLS. But each of you have your own personal IDX website as a result of this. If you have yourname.com, you can redirect that to the website address that we give you. And your website address that we give you is cbunited.com/yourname. If you go to that address today, you're still going to see the old website. The new website will be live on the 26th. If you want the URL to the new website, talk to your admin staff, your office staff. They'll be able to help you. Any other questions? I want to thank you all for joining me today. I really appreciate the time and effort that your staff has put into building this site, and I really do give them a lot of credit for this incredible website that we've built. While we have the technology knowledge, they have the understanding of real estate and your office and staff, and as such, they've played a critical role in helping make sure that this website turned out as well as it did. And for that, we're very grateful, and I'm sure you will be as well when you get an opportunity to actually go in and play with it and see how it works and see how it works for you. Thank you again for joining me today, and if you do choose to join me for any of the future presentations, I'll look forward to seeing you then. Have a great day, y'all. Take care. Bye-bye.